Students obtain exceptional results through free education. Statement from the President.
A no-confidence motion against Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake.
Right to Information Bill tabled in Parliament.
Dry weather affects many parts of the country.
Treetop hut collapses. 1 farmer dead and 5 others injured.
A very good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News here on TV1 and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Let's start off with the main stories for tonight. President Maithripala Sirisena today presided over the annual prize giving of St. Joseph's Palika Vidyalaya in Kegol.
The President presented awards and certificates to the students who showed outstanding performances.
As a result of the free education system of the country today, the children are receiving highest marks in exams. I believe that you must have an understanding on facing the obstacles that arise in society and also distinguish what is right and what is wrong. You have seen in the media, many uncivilized people seem to like to enjoy skinning a live bird and enjoy sitting around watching it suffer. As moral children and youth in this society, you must create a strong atmosphere where you can build the future of the country while protecting your privacy more than any other aspect in the society that you live in. This needs to be done by you.
The draft bill on the right to information was tabled in Parliament today. The bill was tabled by Kanta Karunatilaka, the Minister of Parliamentary Reform and Mass Media.
Honourable Speaker, it is with happiness that I table to these chambers the draft bill on the right to information, something which all media organisations and the general public have anxiously been waiting for. One of the key points contained in the President's policy manifesto and one of the main promises we made to the people upon coming into power. This is an act to formulate provisions required to ensure the right to information, stating clearly the reasons to deny authorization to information, establishment of commissions for the right to information, appointment of officials to obtain information, stating clearly the procedure to obtain information and making the required provisions for the sub-points related. What I would like to know from you is, you had stated that when this bill was referred to the provincial councils, several provincial councils had presented several amendments to this bill. So, Honourable Speaker, just as this bill was tabled, it would be quite convenient if the amendments proposed by these provincial councils are also tabled in Parliament so we could study them as well.
A motion of no confidence against Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake was handed over to the Speaker of Parliament today. The motion bearing the signatures of 37 MPs was handed over by the joint opposition. MP Bandru Gunawardana elaborated further on the move.
The budget has become a complete joke. There are amendments and the whole country is in confusion. The government is moving funds in an arbitrary manner. The value of the rupee is depreciating. The foreign reserve has fallen to the value of 147 rupees. He said that it will be maintained at a certain level. From the reserves that we have, $4 billion have been released to the markets. The Sri Lankan government has obtained loans without making any record of that. It is difficult for him to serve as the finance minister without revealing the truth to Parliament. 7 of us signed this.
On related note, parliamentarian Mahindananda Alutgamage announced in Parliament today that a motion of no confidence would be presented against Minister John Amarathunga as well.
Minister Ravi Karunanayake responded to the allegations made against him.
These no-confidence motions are simply a joke. These 35 persons had arbitrarily destroyed the economy of the country. Under the Rajapaksa administration, the funds that were meant for the people were directed to their own pockets. Today they question us of those funds. We revealed it to Parliament. We are pleased to face this challenge. This is not the first time they are doing this. The profit made by the ports last year was 15 billion rupees. During Mahinda Rajapaksa's rule, that was only 3,000 million rupees. The expenses during that period were 4,000 million rupees. A total loss of 18,000 million rupees. How has this happened? After the loan installments and the interest is paid, there is no income or profit. This is the burden that we have to bear now. They are bringing in motions of no confidence after extorting public funds. We ask the people to have faith in us. We will recover the economy of this country.
Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayaka says the government cannot stay away from repaying the debts obtained by Mahinda Rajapaksa's government.
The Aurudupula, organised by the Welfare Association of the Ministry of Finance in line with the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, commenced under the auspices of the Minister of Finance, Ravi Karunanayaka.
I would like to inform Mahinda Rajapaksa and the group in the opposition, please do not attempt to destabilize the economy of the country. You ruin the country's economy. You put all the funds into your own pockets. We have come with the people to save the country's economy. This is a difficult task. We need to find a solution for the high interest rates and loan installments. This may have been a temporary issue 3 or 4 months ago. We need to ensure that the people are stakeholders in the country's journey towards development.
The Finance Minister was questioned over the statement made by MP Bandula Gunawardene in which he questions whether the present government would repay the undisclosed debt of the previous government.
This is a democratic country and we have now the burden of the sins committed by them. Bandula Gunawardene has made this statement as associate of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Can we say that these are the debt and pay them? The country is facing this economic situation because of the economic agenda of Bandula Gunawardene.
A leader of the JVP, MP Anura Kumara Dissanayaka, speaking in Parliament today, commented on the irregularities alleged to have taken place in the construction of houses for the displaced persons in the north and east.
Why the price of the house increased from 1.2 million to 2.1 million? Yes, I will explain that to you. Initially, the basic construction cost, only the shell, was 1.396 million. Anyhow, the total cost including toilet, we are giving toilets, tube well, solar panel, electrical wiring, fitted pantry, inclusive of gas cooker, Wi-Fi and other facilities, which comes to 2,10,500, prevailed in September 2015 at the dollar rate of 133. That is, at that time itself, on the 20th of September, the total house would have cost about 2.1 million. The company, under its corporate social responsibility, is confirmed to provide furniture, beds and other fittings. The company quoted the price per unit as 2.18 million, as the currently prevailing rate of exchange was 143 rupees per US dollars.
Do not use the tender for the construction for the houses and the tender for the purchasing of equipment on the same process. Grant the tender for the construction of houses to a building contractor and the tender for the equipment for another person. However, the cost of construction of 1.2 million rupees has increased to 2.1 million because of the merging of these two. There is an additional 900,000 rupees for 65,000 houses. Therefore, the tenders must be followed separately. One tender for the construction of houses and the other for the household equipment. During the general elections, we told them that the displaced persons camps will be closed down and the people will be resettled in the houses. We need to expedite this.
Staying in news from the Parliament, 13 questions were submitted to the parliamentary agenda for today with the aim of obtaining oral answers. However, answers were not provided to any of the questions that were included in today's agenda because the respective MPs and ministers were not present in Parliament to raise questions and to provide answers. The government's economic policy was also debated in Parliament today.
You obtain short-term loans from Indian and international banks in order to move this government forward. These are one-year loans. The government is trapped in this economic issue because of the loans taken at high interest rates. Minister Malik Samaravikrama, what is the rate of the dollar today? 144 rupees. Why did it increase to 144 rupees? The rate of the dollar, which was at 130 rupees, increased to 144 rupees. There is no point in the Prime Minister coming here and asking the MP whether he knows Hindi or not. The people speak in Sinhalese. The embassies in the country translate everything that we speak and send them to their countries. Can't the Indian High Commission translate that and send it in the language the Prime Minister understands? Is there a point in asking MP Gamman Pilla whether he knows Hindi or not? You cannot govern this country through jokes.
The Ceylon Electricity Board, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, Sri Lankan Airlines, Sri Lanka Ports Authority and other institutions were converted into debt-ridden institutions by the previous government. Persons who made the country fall into such a situation, the persons who were sent packing 2 years ago, are speaking as if they knew nothing of this. He seeks to govern the country again. Are you asking for a mandate to repeat what was done? Are the people in the country fools to fall into the same pit again? When the Rajapaksa government was heading into the polls, they were in debt to the tune of 44 billion to the contractors who built the roads. The government of Ranil Wickremesinghe has deprived the country of the large profits made through exporting tea and rubber during this year alone. Today we are facing a severe monetary crisis. The government is preparing to bring in the next bill. The government will be compelled to present a new budget through amendments to the existing one. We are seeking funds from the International Monetary Fund to the tune of $1.1 billion. The funds will be given in 3 phases. Today the Prime Minister and the government is begging on their knees before the IMF.
If there is a tax burden on the people, that is because we have to pay for the sins of the past. Back then what took place was a daily meal to our economic policy. Millions and billions in loans were obtained for the exorbitant interest rates. How many employment opportunities did you create in the public sector and in the Hambantota port? It is shameful to say that what was given was not public sector employment, but employment through a services company.
We are very, very grateful. We are very grateful, let me repeat it, that the government is willing to offer 65,000 houses for free for our people when they need houses so desperately. But that doesn't mean that we should close our eyes to something that is so blatantly obvious to us. So let's say 75,000 odd houses have been given to the most needy. Now when you choose beneficiaries, it is the next section, not the most needy. The others who are going to get these houses. And they are being given 2 or 3 times more house of value. But really, we don't know whether it is of that value.
More than $10 billion was incurred as external debt, out of which 8 billion is from China alone. This has contributed to financing white elephant projects. Our government is now working on a number of projects to rescue the country and the people from a parlous situation of a port without ships, an airport without planes, a conference center without conferences, and a cricket stadium with very few matches. Our government is hopeful that it can transform these projects, which are imposing an onerous burden on the people through increased taxes and or a diversion of resources from high priority public expenditure, such as hospitals and schools, into viable businesses earning valuable foreign exchange. We are determined to reduce the budget deficit to 3.5% of GDP within 5 years.
Speaking at a meeting in Anuradhapura today, Minister of Agriculture Duminda Dissanayake commented on the country's current political culture.
Once defeated, our country is accustomed to the habit of pulling the victor down by the leg. They are trying to topple the government. Well, the president won't let that happen. They are even trying to topple the provincial council. So will a country ever move forward? This is the exact thing we did in the country's history as well, didn't we? Even the United National Party has done it. An election was held and an answer was given in this election. So what should happen is that we should all get together to implement that answer for the country. By any chance, if this government isn't good enough, then change it in 5 years.
Minister Dissanayake made this statement while addressing a meeting held at the Anuradhapura District Secretariat today with the objective of educating the farming community and state officials on the government's agricultural program.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Mangal Samaravira expressed views today on the ritual of smashing coconuts performed by a collective of opposition political parties. The minister shared these views while responding to questions raised by journalists following a ceremony held to declare open a factory building in Kurunegala.
If they want to know how to topple governments, tell Mahinda Rajapaksa to come and meet me. But you cannot topple governments by smashing coconuts. By going from place to place and smashing coconuts with his gang of thieves, Mahinda Rajapaksa is displaying to the whole world that he has no political stability.
The News First Gum at the Door-to-Door campaign, which peregrinated across all 25 districts of the country, came across persons who live amongst the greatest of difficulties. Today, one such person smiled for the first time in many months as he was liberated from a major issue he faced.
This is GWS Dharmakirti from Kimbulkama in Thanamal Villa. He lives in this house made of simply mud and sticks with his wife and 2 children. He works as a day labourer, and speaking to us he told us that he has no monetary means of building a house for his children. He raised this issue during the Newsfirst Come at the Door-to-Door campaign, and today the foundation stone for his new house was placed, all thanks to the support showed to the campaign. Dharmakirti can now have new hopes of a better life.
I'm very happy today. I used to walk everywhere. I'm extremely thankful to the director and staff of the Sirasa Media Network. You will be blessed for this great deed.
I express my gratitude on behalf of my 3.5-year-old child for the Sirasa Media Network, who came from Colombo under the Gum at the Door-to-Door campaign and looked into our issues, resulting in a house being built for us.
The farming community in the country undergo many hardships in a bid to protect their cultivations and supply their harvest to the markets. A farmer died after a treetop hut collapsed in Kalagama in Galkiriagama, which was set up to protect a paddy field against encroaching wild elephants.
5 of the farmers who came to keep the victim company in protecting his cultivation were injured in this incident.
We were in the next hut. We heard a scream and a yell for help. My son came to look into that. We were not aware of the incident. We realized what happened only after coming here. We were together because of encroaching wild elephants. This is how we are. We are always together. If there is a lone farm, we come as a group to protect it.
The 5 other farmers who were injured were admitted to hospital. A farmer died while being treated at the Anuradhapura hospital, while another was transferred to the Dambulla hospital. A correspondent reported that 1 farmer remains at the Anuradhapura hospital, while the other 2 farmers were discharged. One person suffered a fractured hip, and this is him laying on bed in his house with the greatest pain.
All we heard was a sound. In an instant, all were on the ground.
The Department of Meteorology notes that dry weather experienced in the country will continue to prevail. The department states that showers or thunder showers may prevail in some places in the Sabaragamuwa province after 4 p.m.
Water levels in the Singhamale Reservoir in Hatton dropped to 7 feet, and the Water Supply and Drainage Board in Hatton says that the water supply to the area has been restricted to 4 hours per day. A fire was reported in the Duncan Estate in the Castlereagh Reserve this evening due to the dry weather. 2 of 3 generators at the Kotmale Reservoir have been turned off as the water levels in the reservoir had dropped to 25%. Several submerged temples and ruins resurfaced due to the low water levels. Seawater has mixed with the Nilbala River due to the low water levels. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board has also suspended operations at the Nadugala pumping station. Several areas in and around the Mathura town are facing difficulties due to the situation, and at present, bowsers are being used to provide water. Security forces set up a temporary barricade next to the pumping station to prevent the mixing of seawater and river water. Dry weather has also posed a risk for around 2,000 acres of tea cultivation in Hambantota. The Varapitiya, Rammalakamda, Saputandrikamda areas were the worst affected. The Lovers Leap Fall dried up, causing disruptions to the water supply to the Norelia town. This situation has also affected the tea cultivation in the area. 40% of the vegetable cultivation in the central province has been destroyed due to the dry weather.
According to environmentalists, the proposed Sampur coal power plant could pose a threat to the coast in the area of construction.
The Trincomalee harbour, the second natural port in the world, boasts of a land and sea mass 10 times the size of the Colombo harbour. Sampur is located in the Muttur Divisional Secretariat in Trincomalee, and the port located to the east is the deepest natural port in the country. Accordingly, the sea area is home to 8 different species of whales and dolphins, while the coral reef provides shelter and breeding ground to many other different species. Environmentalists say constructing a coal power plant next to a natural ecosystem could pose a serious threat to nature. They add that 93 million litres of acidic water will be released per hour from the coal power plant, and warn that this warm water could be released to the ocean.
According to the information available, the method proposed for trapping the sulfur dioxide at Sampur is supposed to be done using seawater. So what we are doing is we are taking seawater, maybe I don't know how many tons of it, maybe millions of gallons definitely, which will go through the stack, collecting that sulfur dioxide so it becomes acidic, and we are releasing it to the Trincomalee Bay.
Energy experts note that the effect of a coal power plant will be felt at a radius of 15 kilometers from the plant, and the people living in those areas will be adversely affected. Persons displaced by the war too have been housed inside the safety zone of the Sampur coal power plant. Some houses can be seen located 2 kilometers away from the power plant. Also, the Muttur city is located just 5 kilometers away from the coal power plant, and so is the Trincomalee city, which is just 11 kilometers away.
Now, according to environmentalists, that was the Sampur coal power plant story that we talked about earlier. In more local news, the much talked about Economic and Technology Agreement, or ECTA, between Sri Lanka and India was discussed on the Newsline program this morning with Professor Rohan Samarajiva and architect Nalaka Jayavira. Here are some excerpts of the program.
Rohan, what's happening? Why are you supporting ECTA?
Anybody who understands what's going on in the world will have to agree that this is the way the world is moving. Countries that open up, create legal frameworks for international trade, prosper. They create important jobs, they create exports, and their countries go forward. I think what we need to do, everybody in Sri Lanka who's concerned about trade agreements should look at Vietnam, which is a country that is poorer than Sri Lanka even now, which is way behind us, and how far it is going. Now its exports have increased by 9 times from 2000 to 2004, whereas Sri Lanka's exports have increased only 2 times.
Why are you opposing this agreement, ECTA? No, why are you against it?
No, we are not against any liberalization procedure. What we are against is we cannot go for liberalization without the necessary legal frameworks in the country. What we are saying is let us have our legal frameworks in place. So we have found around 30 acts to be amended before we go for liberalization thing. But
I think these things need to be done in parallel, because the simple answer is he has been talking about this from 2003. I have been talking about the need to get rid of obsolete laws, liberalize our entire legal structure for a longer time than that, but it hasn't happened. So you need time pressure. You need the pressure of saying, here we have agreed to liberalize our economy. We have 2 years. These things are never implemented immediately upon signature.
The world's tech giant Google and Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand Newsfirst have joined hands for the first time ever, the Aurudu Megapola, supported by Google. This initiative is said to take internet shopping in Sri Lanka to unprecedented heights.
The initiative will get underway from 21st March to 10th April 2016 on the sidelines of the Sinhala Tamil New Year, which is marked on the 14th of April. The event page will feature a host of consumer products and electronics at the most competitive prices. A unique feature of the Aurudu Megapola will be the easy accessibility it affords to consumers located across Sri Lanka when ordering products. In addition to shopping being just a click away, customers who order products would be offered all-island delivery and the option of paying cash on delivery. The initiative, which is the first for Sri Lanka whilst taking Google to the villages, will strive to ensure that the benefits and convenience of internet shopping are not just limited to the towns. The Google Aurudupula, in partnership with Newsfirst, promises to be 20 days of online shopping at the best discounts and offers, coming soon to an internet connection near you.
Politburo member of the Frontline Socialist Party, Kumar Gunaratnam, made a special statement at the Kegol Magistrates Court today. Kegol Magistrate Prasanna Alvis informed the verdict on the case will be issued next Thursday.
Making his statement in court, Kumar Gunaratnam said he who was born in the Kegol area entered the University of Peravania in 1985 after completing his education in local schools. Gunaratnam told court that as he was an active member of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, he committed himself for the party's progress. He added that since forming the Frontline Socialist Party on the 3rd of September 2011, he had to seek refuge in Australia due to the constant threats he received on his life. Speaking further, Kumar Gunaratnam said that he reapplied for citizenship here in Sri Lanka on numerous occasions, adding that he appeared in court in this regard. Politburo member of the Frontline Socialist Party, Kumar Gunaratnam, was further remanded until the 31st of this month. Meanwhile, the case pertaining to the petition filed at the Supreme Court requesting for citizenship for Kumar Gunaratnam in the country and for the suspension of his deportation until the case is heard was decided to be taken up once again on the 29th of March. The petition was filed by Politburo member of the Frontline Socialist Party, Tumindan Nagamua. Those days, one had to get Gotabaya's license to engage in politics. But now it's from Ranil Wickremesinghe and Anura Kumara Dissanayake. So we strongly demand this government to stop the suppression and the dysfunctioning of the Frontline Socialist Party and resolve the issue of citizenship. The case filed against former Minister of Transport Kumar Valgama by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption over the appointment of an individual to the post of Vice Chairman in the Sri Lanka Transport Board, a post non-existent in the structure of the board, was taken up once again today. The case has been filed at the Colombo Magistrates Court, alleging that a financial irregularity had taken place through this post. The case is to be taken up once again on the 20th of June.
Well, that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. For the News First team, I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandari.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant night.